So, hello again. We don't let interruptions stop us. Yeah, I think the memory ran out. It's amazing actually. Let me do it for an hour, but I'm on my work phone. Right, so but I always think when something's in 2 bits and I'm holding it at soul retrieval, that means something. Because what I always say, you and your twin, your beloved, you are the same soul, right? It's like that's why I sometimes find it hard for myself. Like I just cannot not see that he is me. Basically, is the only way I can see it. And I, I doubt. Well, I don't know. I doubt he sees it quite. It really depends, right? Because when he fully awakens to what that means, it will be the same for him. Like I do actually think whenever he's been tuning into my videos or whatever, he will be able to see himself in me. And I don't know how, because again, I'm me. So it's, but I mean, I can see when I watch my videos, but I can see him. Like, and we don't look like each other. It's the only way I can say it. Aesthetically, we don't look like each other. I wish he gets a really good tan. Do you know what I mean? But it's hard to explain. But I can see myself, my mannerisms, some of the things that I say, and that doesn't make sense logically because we haven't seen each other for years. But you know what I mean? It is just the process. So he will be able to see bits of me in him, but you see, maybe the bits of me that he sees in him are the bits that are yet to emerge. The ancient soul wisdom that really it's always been there. I just looked at 144. Like it's always been there in him as well. It's just I'm helping him remember. But just like when I'm doing that with a client, you know what I mean? Like I help people remember their soul's wisdom. Anyway, that's a bit deep again, isn't it? To go right in there. But never mind. Hi there. If you're new, this is part 2. I'm telling you, spirit are doing something funny. That means something. That's what soul retrieval is. When you're seeing you and your twin, you and your beloved as 2 separate pieces, like 2 separate videos, it's because you haven't integrated those 2 soul parts enough within you. And unless you integrate your inner feminine masculine properly, I'm not talking about the fashionable way when people are talking about that, properly with a shaman. And I know the way that I do it. I don't know the way that other people do it, but all I know is it gets results. It helps people really stop obsessing about the twin where they were doing that. And where it was meant to, I've prepared people basically for when the twin flame union, the physical union of the person appears. And for some of those people that's already happened, like, they are with their twin. And then also people have come into my life where they were actually already with their twin and they met me. But what was needed in the soul retrieval was that they need to love themselves. And therefore, when people do the soul retrieval with me on themselves, it improves their relationship and saves relationships. Because I truly do believe a lot of relationships are lost and they weren't meant to be. It's because I've just saw it happen where, people go to therapy and they're, or if you're not with a good therapist, like I say all the time, there's loads of people that are great at their job, there's loads of people that are shit at their job, and sometimes someone isn't shit at their job, you just don't gel with them. So you've got to keep it all in balance. Like I won't be everyone's cup of tea. It doesn't mean I'm shit at what I do. It just means that we weren't a good match. And sometimes it is people are shit at what they do. Do you know what I mean? You've got to know yourself really well. But what I'm saying is I've saw a lot of people in relationships blame it all on the other person. And actually it's because they weren't loving themselves and feeling fulfilled within themselves. And therefore thinking they were with the wrong person. But I'm being shown clairvoyantly lots of different people in my life where I can think that they were actually with either the right person, the right soulmate, because not everyone's a twin, or they were with their twin and they couldn't handle it. And they've made it and they've made it that was the wrong person. But again, it's like if I'm right about some people that are truly a twin, they'll find their way back to each other. It just, might be fucking 10 years later and shit like that. So it might happen the way it's meant to happen. Right, so anyway, I want to get this done because I was sitting there for an hour and the fucking phone ran out. So, and I don't know how much battery this has got. So, Right, I'll just read the medicine again. When did you compromise what you truly believed in to be loved or accepted by someone? Think back over your life and find the time or times when this happened. Vow never to compromise your integrity again. What have you agreed to in the name of love so that you know is deeply wrong? Make it right this instant. And again, if you come across me, I bet you'll stop doing that so much, because that's what the number one people say to me I help them with. Well, that was that card. Like basically, I've basically informally gave people therapy through this YouTube channel. I hope you do realise that. I mean, some clients have actually told me that when they're on the Zoom. And good. You know what I mean? I've helped people sort their shit out, become a badass, sort their boundaries out. But, you know, when you really want to take it to the next level, you actually do the long-term one work. You know, I don't know about not everyone needs long-term, but most people do. To be perfectly fucking frank, most people do. And my long-term isn't even that long-term. I've helped people over 8 weeks. The kind of therapy that some people go to for years, I've helped people with in 8 sessions. That is the truth. Most people would need more than 8, but I have helped people in 8. They do start to see a change. It's just a lot of people decide to do it even longer because there's more stuff to work through. And then, you know, if you're not ready for therapy yet, because not everybody is, maybe you might never want it. You know, some people have got different sorts of stigmas and whatever around that. Yeah, then at least do some sort of session with me. If you resonate and this is resonating, don't leave yourself stuck as a message, right? 12. Because I can foresee a time, right? I think next year I can foresee a time where I'm going to be doing stuff like courses or webinars to a wider audience. And I'm not going to be as readily available for individual sessions and definitely not long-term work. And people are going to be like, oh shit, I wish I'd done it. Like, I just thought she was talking shit. Like, I just thought she was always going to be there. And I'm telling you, I can see that I'm not. I'm not always going to be there in that way. I'll have other stuff going on in my life that I want to devote attention to. That's a weird way to say it. And then the work stuff will be more to wider audience. So, because that's always what I've known. I've got many paths I can take, and I just can feel it. It's all sort of going to happen all at once, right? So, the card in the West represents a part of you that needs to die. It's an old story that needs to be let go of so you may find a new meaningful story for your life. Are you being seduced by what you think you desire? Could it be that the more superficial, sparkly, shiny aspects of your ambition led you into this moment? And remember, that could be a person. This is talking about karmic energy. Karmic people, karmic friends, karmic jobs, money, and people get lured in by money. Perhaps you feel that in order to get what you desire, you have to compromise yourself, control others, or manipulate situations to ensure the goal is met. Coyote howls in the shadows to remind you that this may be a lesson too painful to learn. Beware the shallow waters right now. Something or someone might pretend to be deep, but that doesn't make them so. No matter... Wow. 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 Not only is that card about when I was saying, trust yourself. Because if something doesn't feel right, like me saying, like, what the hell am I watching? This is not my soul. This is not my twin flame soul. Because we've got the same soul. This is not... Something's fucked up here. This is about if you've been lured in by a romantic connection, something doesn't feel right, trust that. That's for people that have done that on the karmic path. If you've not done that, then, and this might be talking about your past, so just trust yourself. How seductive their superficial traits and how beautiful or sparkly they appear. All that glitters there will not turn up gold, no matter how many wishes you make to change that. How interesting, because I was also led to something earlier about the Midas touch and reminded about the story of that. It's be careful what you wish for. Because remember, he touches things and, you know, the leaves turn gold, the trees turn gold, but then he touches his daughter and his daughter turns to gold. And you know what I mean? It's like, this energy really is be careful what you wish for. That was something I read earlier. It was an email that I opened earlier that was... It's true, this energy is be careful what you wish for. Right, so... yeah, so again, that is like with karmic situations. If you've been lured in by somebody attractive, whether it's a man or a woman, but then the mask starts to fall that, oh, this person might be hot, but they're actually really a fucking nightmare. You know what I mean? And that's the case with all karmics, basically. Maybe there's some rare fucking circumstances where it's not the truth, but I've not come across some. Right. 22. Some significant realizations may have been happening around the 22nd on that romantic alignment there. There's a 22nd on the Ghost Dance card. If you're trapped in a vicious cycle of nostalgia, mourning a lost youth, opportunities missed, it's time to make an altar for the ancestors. Collect a few photos, light some incense, and look, there's stuff about ancestors again. Offer sage and open the windows of your house to release them to their destiny and to the wind. Be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime. As the people we loved or hurt have a way of reappearing in our lives, there's no learning for you there anymore. Right, I'm sorry. What in the actual fuck, man? You seen me shuffle. And that is about the part of you that needs to die, the old story for a new meaning. This is basically people, oh my god, this is people that have lost parts of their soul, been zapped by karmic energies because it was a trick. Coyote medicine's a trick, like Mercury retrograde. Yeah, that's the people that need to be ghosted, not the that's hilarious. The people that need to be ghosted are the karmic energies that have been zapping it, not the twins. It's like, but that just literally said, if you've been fooled by, be wary of being snared in a relationship with someone from a past lifetime. Like basically, some people are with people, some people are with soulmates from past lifetimes, but they're actually thinking it might be a twin, but it's actually no, it's someone from a past life that's tricked you. 1144. I mean, that is what happened to me way back in the past, like when I was a teenager. That did happen to me. I just was obsessed with someone and they made me obsessed with them, and then I woke up one day and I was like, oh my god, now I see what everyone's been trying to tell me. And I get all confused with the timing, but I'm pretty sure it was not long after that I started to realise who my twin flame was. Because it couldn't be denied. And again, I will literally, never mind write a book, a fucking screenplay could be written about how I worked that one out. Yeah. The synchronicities were screaming at me. And they've never stopped from that day on. Right, wow, that's really fucking deep, by the way. This is one for people that are still with karmic energies, or you've already rumbled it and it's just telling the story of you working it out. Love it. The card in the north represents the wisdom that you need to acquire. So basically, I'm honouring the fact that this is definitely with the Venus and Venus in the 12th house placements. Like when I was talking to those women on the live the other day, but this can happen to men too, is that the love can feel really strong. It can feel like it's real with a karmic. But then it'll be like how I just described. You'll wake up and you'll be like, what the fuck was that all about? This person's horrible to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just taking it. I'm being self-sacrificing, as the sacrifice card is there, because that's that placement. Right, so, and that's why I'm saying most people need counselling, because although the twin flame shit and that's all really magical and romantic and hot and all that kind of stuff, it's also unconditional love. So when I'm very wary when people are claiming someone's a twin flame, but they sound toxic as hell. Like, and I'm not just talking about ghosting. See what I've done that? Is that because ghosting's part of it. It's overwhelm. It's not the right way to deal with things, but it is. Like, I don't ghost people, but I can go into myself sometimes for quite a few days or sometimes even weeks, and that. But that's usually when it's been something really, really serious and someone's really hurt me and I can't actually even process it. And then, so that's not ghosting. It's like I'm having time myself, and then I usually say like, look, you know. That's actually usually when I have cut people off. And when I cut people off, they're not getting back in. I can forgive them, but they're not getting back in. But ghosting, yeah, again, it's like, I mean, I'm a counsellor, so I know what it's all about. But where ghosting is appropriate, actually, is if someone has ignored your boundaries and they keep hounding you. That's why I'm saying the ones that need to be ghosted, if they're not listening to the boundaries, are karmics. But when twins ghost a twin, it's a bit different. It's because they can't handle the emotion. Anyway, that's what I mean. That's why you, in 1441, that's why most people, if you can't sort of get the difference between a karmic and a twin, what a twin does, you really do need you don't just need a counsellor, you need a twin flame counsellor. And hi, twin flame counsellor, shaman, there's a lot of shit that I do I'm going to be able to help you with, if you resonate. Because it's more than just a card reading. I'm doing healing. I'm doing soul retrieval. And that's what most people need. Right, okay, we get the point. Right. Represents the wisdom you need to acquire. You've learned the lessons from the South and the West cards. Again, that's people learned the lessons with the karmic partners, ready to move on if this resonates. What wisdom is ready to mature within you? What is your great medicine that you're ready to embrace? What is deeply buried treasures that have become available to you? And it is... This mighty being comes to teach you stillness and motion, and to trust your inner knowing that the sweetest nectar is assured. Failing to act when the moment is right can spoil your journey. Wow. Oh God, this feels like an important message for twins out there. Failing to act when the moment is right can spoil your journey, and I just read it again. If you feel your safety, comfort, or day-to-day survival are more important than saying yes to the invitation to explore the unknown, fucking hell, again, into the unknown. You will have to work much harder to achieve what is being offered to you freely now. Still your mind, even in the midst of your very hectic schedule, and heed the gentle voice that calls to you to test the new wings. And I really do feel that is the voice of the twin flame. The twin flame's higher self calling the twin home. And again, although we're at a new moon eclipse, and this energy that I've just dramatically channeled there is very eclipse energy, there's a full moon, so this could indicate big things coming about at the full moon in Taurus. And I've been saying this for a few years, that the beaver full moon is important for twin flame unions. It's just in the past I would have hoped for myself and for others it was like the beaver moon of that year, because I got that in 2020 or I think it was even 2019. But the next beaver moon is the Taurus full moon. So right, and now the last card is the Beloved, of course. The card in the East represents your possible destiny, the way that you will share your treasures and gifts with others. And is that not just magical that it's the Beloved? Out of all, think about it, that's 2 decks together, right? 2 decks together are the same deck. And every time I go to use these cards, most of the time I pull out the Beloved. And why? Because I'm a twin flame healer. That's my destiny. I'm not just like, oh, this is one of the things that I do. Like some people, it's like, this is one of the things I do. No, it's the only thing that I do. My abundance has been held back from me for ages because I only help true twin flames. And there aren't really too many true twin flames out there. And even when there is, they might, get led down the coyote ghost dance path of going to other people for help. And then they come back, but so many people come full circle and they go and get help from loads of other people. Or about twin flames, or even about things that are not twin flames, work stuff and that, and then they actually come around to being like, shit, actually, Claire could help me with all of that. And listen, as long as you realise eventually, that's what matters. Not everybody is meant to work with me, but if you're still watching and you watch a lot, you're meant to work with me. And maybe you already have. Right, so, the Beloved. This is the destiny and the gifts. Anyway, right, so the Beloved is the recognition of spirit in another, moving towards spirit through the other, twin flames. It is when the divine appears to us in the form of our child, our partner, our friend, or we experience being in love, true love. As we grow, we start to recognise the Beloved in everyone, not confusing their personality with their divine nature. I just love this, right? Because as we went around the medicine wheel, which is what we do in shamanism, this is basically the story of somebody reclaiming their power, clearing their energy, calling back their power. But I also feel simultaneously their power being taken away again, because it's being duped by a karmic and being led on a ghost dance, a merry sort of ghost dance. Or it's people that, know that someone's karmic, but it's complicated because there's children involved and it's, the right time to get away and everything. But I still do think we overcomplicate that. Sometimes we do just need to get out, someone needs to hear that. Because sometimes it's dangerous situations, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, or definitely when it's physically. But like I say, it's all just as bad. It's always bad. When there's financial abuse involved, it's bad. When there's emotional abuse, it's bad. When there's gaslighting involved, it's bad. Because the more you stay around someone like that, the more they're stealing the parts of your soul. You know what I mean? But this is basically that. It's pulling back the power, or needing to pull back the power. Being duped by someone at some point in your life. Because like I just shared, that's happened to me. It's happened to me romantically about a lifetime ago, like what I just described. And then It's happened with me again more recently, like as in the last sort of few years, with people that weren't romantic but that were trusted, and then you later realise, shit, I shouldn't be trusting them, right? We all learn. But again, that's part of my Pluto in 0 degrees retrograde Scorpio in the 12th house. I said it all fucked up, but you know what I mean. That I have the self-sacrificing nature, and I've got many paths. Sometimes I'll choose what could be perceived as the wrong path, but it was all learning. So, and I share that so that it makes you feel a bit better if you feel like you've went down. I mean, there is no wrong path, right? Release what doesn't feel right anymore, because you've learned the lessons of being led down a karmic ghost stance. Now move towards the sweetness, the nectar. I'm sure there's a tantric sort of innuendo there, but move towards there is. I can feel there is. Move towards the living in the moment, being happy in the moment. Move towards beloved. And you, and then it'll manifest in a person if you don't know who they are, or it'll manifest as a person you know exactly who they are. Accept the invitation to learn through the path of love. Expand your being through union with another. When you recognize the beloved in another, you call forth their highest and purest nature. And that feels very fitting with what I just said there. Follow the path of love. Right, I'm going to read the medicine, right, and then I'm going to read that again because I want to transmute it. But people need to hear the medicine, because the medicine is what people have been led into with the past life loves, that you've either unfortunately fought for a period of time if you knew what twin flames were, because you're a twin flame, that they're your twin flame. It's happened to a lot of people. I've helped people with this. And I would even say, like, listen, I'm not even being funny, right? I don't always say it like that, but I would even say it happened to me. But it's complicated because I didn't know what a twin flame was, but I was really like, I was totally all about this karmic. Like, and I mean, like, long after we broke up, I was still like longing after him and hoping it was going to happen again. So it's very like a twin flame journey. But the difference is he wasn't good for me. He was yanking my chain. You know what I mean? Like, basically, like, he was doing whatever the fucking hell he wanted, which a twin flame can do too. But yeah, the point is that it was toxic, 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 toxic. And it was actually, you know, so again, I wasn't, oh God, I don't really like fucking going into this, but it's important that I wasn't with him, but I was, you know, my feelings were still, my heart was still being pulled to him. And this is when I met my twin. But because we were so young, like, me and my twin just slept with each other casually and had fun, and it was just convenient, you know what I mean? We were both, but like, it was special, but we were convenient for one another, and it was convenient for me, being totally transparent. By the way, my twin never really knew the depths of this until I've been sharing it for the past year, so that's what's quite funny. But yeah, like, it was convenient for me because I thought I was in love with someone else. I was like, yeah, I'll sleep with this hot guy and spend time on him because he doesn't want to be anything serious with me and he's fucking tidy, was what I was thinking. But then as time grew on and we kept sleeping with each other, I'm like, wait a minute, he's really fucking lovely. Like, he's hot and he's really lovely. Like, you know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, Claire, stop. You know what I mean? Don't start falling in love with him. He's just, you know what I mean? You can't fall in love with a player. And yeah, and then anyway, the rest is history. I've told all the rest of the story, but the point is, you know what I mean? Like, although I wasn't labelling it, I did think I would have used words like soulmate. I thought the other one was going to be my husband and everything. And then I just woke up one day and I was like, what the fuck? It was a past life. And then I remember it was weird. I was training in counselling at college at the time before I went to do it at uni. And a woman, and no, it was actually, that's what it was spiritual. What was it again? I was doing a counselling module and it was something to do with spiritual counselling, which is weird because, you know, I just knew this is what I wanted to do. But it was part, you know, oh, what I'm trying to say is it wasn't a course about spiritual counselling. It was basically, it was counselling, and then they touched on an element of what I'm interested in, because lots of other people were in it, and I was like, oh, I love this. And then I got into this conversation about past lives with a woman, and she must have been like me, but I actually think she was an angel in human form. Seriously, because she disappeared. She gave me her email and then it bounced back. There's loads, people have got loads of stories about that. I've got loads of stories about that. It is a real thing. Oh God, my feet are in, but never mind. Oh look, my feet are in. That means something. Someone's ready to jump in. That doesn't make sense. Head first, feet first. It's like someone's ready to move forward now. With both feet forward. That's what I got. Yeah, anyway, that woman said to me, that's a past life. Because it literally just happened. I was like, look, I've been obsessed with this guy for years because he made me like that. And I've just woke up and I've realised what everybody's saying. Like, I could see it clearly now. And she was like, it was a past life. And I was like, yeah. Because I had a dream. And anyway, I had a dream and I'm pretty sure the dream involved, I've probably read it down somewhere. What was weird about the dream was on the dream, the karmic was trying to get in touch with me, right? And I was on a boat at sea or something. And then I'm sure my twin flame appeared as well. And that's when I started to be like, oh, wait a minute, how's all this stuff coming in about him now? And then it just never stopped. Anyway, so do you know what I'm saying? I'm rearing that fact, I think, that it happened to me really, really early on in my life. But that's why I remember the feel. Like, I know it's real. I know that when you think you're in love with someone, it does feel real. But if it's really toxic and they're really horrible to you and they're breadcrumbing, and because that's the difference. Like, my karmic partner was texting and calling and he was keeping me hanging on and making me believe something was going to happen, controlling me from afar, and I was allowing it. Whereas with a twin, that wouldn't usually happen. Like, you'll probably not talk to each other for a very long time, and then you'll bump into each other somewhere randomly. Oh, wait a minute, I was going to read that again, wasn't I? Or they'll just come back in your life when they're meant to, and you'll be able to tell each other the crazy story, all the shit you went through. Right, so it's just for other people, the story of what I just told, what I went through, it would be like you were probably going through that at the same time, but that wasn't like that with me. But I've got other things I can tell mine, believe me. It just doesn't really, a lot of it isn't like romantic shit. Right. So, we're going to read this and I'm going to end this. This was so interesting to me. And again, it was like a therapy session because it was 90 minutes. It was like an hour in one video and it's 30 minutes in the next. If this is all a load of gobbledygook to you and you're not meant to get it, you're not meant to get it. If you're meant to get it, you'll get it. It's for someone. Accept the invitation to learn through the path of love. Expand your being through union with another. When you recognise the beloved in another, you call forth their highest and purest nature. Follow the path of love. Have a lovely new moon in Scorpio eclipse. Have a lovely full moon in Taurus eclipse. Enjoy this magical eclipse hallway that we're going to be in for the next couple of weeks. Let's just see what happens out there, guys. Whatever's meant to happen in your life during this time will happen. And it's all really important stuff. Notice the paths you're led to take, and that you can never take a wrong path. It's like the slide. That's why I always refer to the film Sliding Doors. Every decision that you make, and as Michelle said in a comment the other day, because we were talking about something like that, and it's in line with what I say all the time, is, you know, it's like, so for instance, right, even if you're like procrastinating, you're stuck, you're better to make a decision just not to make a decision right now. But the point is, you can't stay there forever. Don't stay stuck forever, which is why I say there's people out there that really do need my help, and I can get you out of things that you think you're stuck in, that you're helpless. Like someone's got a hold over you, like a karmic energy, a romantic one, or a parent, or a friend, or whatever. A job, or money, you know, I have to do it for money, and it's just simply not true. Like, I'm the mystical shaman, where that card is, here to tell you it's not true. And I can help you break free from where you've trapped yourself, basically. Harsh but true. And I can do it for free. You can watch my karmic journey, and that might be enough to free you. And then just remember, you know, good karma. Share my videos with someone, donate where you can, or book a session the next time you need help, you know, in a bigger way. Because God's always watching. I'm putting good karma out for people to help people, and I'm trusting that because I'm putting stuff out there that I could charge for, that the good karma will come back to me in different ways. But that's why that stuff's there, to help people. And people that need deeper help, get the deeper help. If you resonate with me, I'm honoured, I'm humbled, and I'm here to help you. Just now anyway. In real time. Like I say, if you watch this further down the line, I might not be that available. And I trust and I pray that you find somebody that can help you in the way that you need. But either way, all paths lead home. You can't take a wrong turn on the twin flame journey. I don't really believe you can take a wrong turn in life. But we can be stuck in ego and pride, and we could probably have got there a little bit sooner when we heed the signs and the warnings. And that's what I mean about, as much as I don't like tapping into the dark stuff all the time, whenever I've been on the receiving end of people that can do the same, it stopped me gaslighting myself about the people that were manipulating me. And it's made me stand up for myself and put tighter boundaries or cut things off where I need to. And therefore I'm very grateful there's people out there that can tap into the dark stuff like what I can. But if you're one of the people that does that like me, just keep it in balance and make sure you also balance it up with a light and fluffy reading or a healing or something, and something magical, so that you don't get pulled into the darkness too much. Because we don't want to be stuck in that. And this is the kind of energy, to be honest, this Pluto eclipse, sorry, I keep saying Pluto, but it's because it's actually hitting my Pluto. Scorpio eclipse, it really could pull people into that misery. But then you just release, like the card says, release yourself from the worries of your own mind. That's what it's about. She's running from her own fears, or he is. Whatever resonates. Stop running from yourself. That's what you're doing when you're running from your twin. You're running from yourself. When you accept that and you face it, that's when the magic happens. Right, okay, I'm done. Love you. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with someone that needs this. See you later. Bye.